It is time for another 1 minute market update where we talk about the two things that you care about most if you own a home. That's how much is my home worth today compared to what it was worth yesterday, and how long would it take to sell if I were trying to sell it right now. I'm Angelo Manuciades with the Atlas Group at Stonehouse Realty. Let's jump right into it. When we talk about pricing, we're referring to the HPI price, or the home price index. That's the average price of an average home in a neighborhood. So starting off with Burnaby detached homes. You've seen a 5.1% increase from last year and a 0.1% decrease from last month. Coquitlam, a 1.8% drop from last year and down 1.9% from last month. Port Moody, you're up 0.8% from last year and down 1.8% from last month. Port Coquitlam, you're up 1.8% from last year, but down 4.4% from last month. Maple Ridge, you're up 3.3% from last year. Big winner there, and down 0.3% from last month. Pitt Meadows, the big winner overall, you're up 5.2% from this time last year, and up 0.3% from last month. All right, now into townhomes, starting in Burnaby again. You are up 1.7% from this time last year and up 0.4% compared to last month. Coquitlam, you're up 1.6% from last year and up 2.3% from last month. Port Moody, you're down 2.1% from last year and down 1.8% from last month. Port Coquitlam down 0.4% from last year, but up 6.1% from last month. That's a huge jump. Just for reference, usually the average annual growth per year is about 6%. So 6% in 1 month is huge. Maple Ridge, you are net zero from last year. No change at all, but up 0.7% from last month. And finally, Pitt Meadows, you're down 2.3% from last year, but up 0.7% from last month. And into condos now. So starting off again in Burnaby, you're down 1.5% from last year and down 0.5% from last month. Coquitlam, you're up 1.5% from last year, but down 0.9% from last month. Port Moody, the big winner for condos, you're up 3.5% from last year and up 1.2% from last month. Port Coquitlam, you're up 0.3% from last year, but down 1.8% from last month. Maple Ridge, once again, no change from last year, but down 5.3% from last month. And finally, Pitt Meadows, you're up 0.8% from last year, but down 5.1% from last month. All right, jumping into the days on market. This is how long it takes a home to sell on average in a given neighborhood. All right, starting off in Burnaby, you were at 16 days in October, up to 18 days in November. Coquitlam, you were at 18 days in October, up to 19 days in November. Port Moody, you were at 12 days in October, but down to 10 days in November. Port Coquitlam, you were at 15 days in October and 19 days in November. Maple Ridge, the big outlier here, you were at 24 days in October and up to 37 days in November. And finally, Pitt Meadows, 20 days in October and 21 days in November. So overall, what we're seeing is in November, sales were higher than they've been the past couple of years, but still a little bit on the decline. Now, this is very, very normal for this time of year as people are getting ready for the holidays and for Christmas time. There's not too many people out and about looking around. Now, that said, I personally was in multiple offers twice with two separate sets of clients on purchases. So that means that there are still buyers out and about looking. If you want to know what all of this means for your particular neighborhood, or you just want to have a chat about what possibly making a move next year might look like, there's a link in the description below. You can book a strategy session with me. I'll see you in the next one. Talk to you soon.